Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Fallout 76 beta. I am incredibly excited to get this video underway. As you guys can see, I've already played the beta a little bit so far. Basically, my brother and I made characters together and we started running around and exploring the world. We really didn't make it that far into the world itself. We only made it to about level 3 or so, but he had to go. He had some things to do today, which means now is the perfect time for me to go ahead and make a brand new character. What we're going to be doing here in this video is doing the entire character creation process, exploring the vault itself, and then going outside the vault and starting to explore the world of West Virginia. It's going to be a lot of fun, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it.
War never changes. In 1776, this great nation accepted that armed conflict was the only way to preserve our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If our founding fathers could only see us now. From Antietam to Amiens, Okinawa to Anchorage, we have fought. And now, the Red Menace is at our doorstep. Democracy itself is under threat of annihilation. That is why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you, the good people of America. So that if the bombs do come, if the end does come, our way of life will endure. But not everyone will be saved. Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest. For when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
What an introduction that was, ladies and gentlemen. So here is going to be the character creation process, but while this happens, the Overseer talks quite a bit, so I'm going to be quiet while you guys can listen to what the Overseer has to say.
Last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept. But it's time to get up and get out there. We've been locked away long enough. Today is Reclamation Day. It may be time to leave, but I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76. You come from every walk of life, every race, color, and creed. But you all share one very important trait. You are this country's best and brightest. But more importantly, you'll always be my family.
Aww. So this creation process here actually reminds me quite a bit of the Fallout 4 creation process, which is actually very good. It was very organic, like you're standing there with your spouse in the bathroom and you're taking turns. You can customize yourself, you can customize your spouse, and here you basically do the same thing. Though I will say this was where I ran into one of my first little issues here with Fallout 76. So obviously this game is designed from the ground up to work with other people in your world, right? And as a result, there are sometimes maybe a beta bug, but then again, the game actually comes out like 2 weeks time, so it's hard to say what's a beta bug and what's actually going to be in the game itself. But while I was here creating my first ever character, there was somebody else in the room with me. The problem was I couldn't actually see that other person, right? The other person was here. I could hear the footsteps. I could see the person running around, or I could hear the person running around, rather, but I couldn't see the person running around. And there are different things that you can interact with here inside of the vault, and this ghostly person was basically interacting with these things that were around me, but I couldn't actually see them do that. So let's go ahead and change this over to, I like to be a bit on the thinner / muscular side. There we go, accept that. And I think that's pretty much it for our character. Not bad. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We'll name our character Joe. And here is actually where you can go ahead and basically pick your Vault 76 resident card, which is actually kind of cool. And you have all sorts of different options right here, though I will say the interface is really weird. You move this around with your mouse, and then with Z and C, and then the up and down arrows on your keyboard, you can change all of this. But I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, but I will be spending a lot of time here in this video talking about the overall interface and how they could potentially improve it. But like I said here, while I was making my character, and as you guys saw, our character stands like right here, there was a ghostly figure over here playing the acoustic guitar, which is cool. I love that things like this are added to the world. We actually found a couple of these things outside of the vault as well, which is really cool, but it's weird when you're making your character and there's like somebody else here supposedly in your room. This is supposed to be your character's room, not everybody's room, which we will be seeing here later on in the video as we explore the vault even further. But yeah, the vault itself is really cool. Feel free to take your time to explore everything. There is actually quite a lot to see and do and activate. There's lots of little things you can interact with, and you win the award for best looking hair and the cleanest toilets, which is kind of cool to see little vault tech related things like that here. I'm a big fan of that, and little tiny bits of world building, such as, remember, don't put toilet paper on backwards and need more sugar bombs, though unfortunately you can't really loot anything, at least at this part of the vault. It's not as if you can run around and grab sugar bombs and grab all the stuff off the table here. You can't do that. That would make the game a little bit too easy. I actually didn't notice this before, but you of course can sit on these stools and do things like that, which is kind of neat. But let's go ahead and grab our Pip-Boy 2000, I think this is? I forget exactly. I'm pretty sure it's 2000. We can check in a second. There we go. I will say that wasn't as cool as when you get your Pip-Boy in Fallout 4, but it's still pretty good. And now we can go ahead and check out our Pip-Boy here. See the dates and everything that we saw, of course, during the trailers, which is pretty neat. Now, let's go ahead and go outside. If you guys don't know the context, I don't want to move yet because there's going to be some dialogue, but if you guys don't know, the door closes. The context of this is there are no other people. In Fallout 76, we are basically the first people out into the Wasteland. It's only been 25 years since the bombs dropped, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to make sure every person you see out in the world is another player character. So here in the vault, everybody else is gone. Your character woke up late. From a narrative and a story perspective, your character woke up late, and everybody else is already gone, and here are the remains of the party that happened last night. But the reason why I didn't want to walk out is because of the dialogue here.
Nothing less than the rebuilding of America. Such a huge responsibility. Just know that Vault Tech is proud of you. I am proud of you. When you hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Well, I just heard the sound of somebody right there. But as you guys can see, this room is virtually identical to my room, right? And then so is this one over here. So basically, this is meant to signify that these are the rooms of the other people, right? The other people that you're going to run out into the world, whether it's your friends or random people you may run into, which I think is actually pretty cool from a lore and an immersion standpoint as well, right? It's kind of cool to see all of that. But yeah, this looks like it would actually be quite a fun vault to go into. But I kept hearing a sound over here. Did you guys hear it as well? It's basically a sound you make if you're hurt, like you're taking radiation damage. Now we have doors opening. Perhaps there's, I think, yeah, I'm definitely hearing lots of things as well as footsteps. Let's see if there's actually a person. There is! All right, there's T-Diddy94. How's it going, buddy? If I knew how to, like, look at you and such, I would. Or do these little emotes, but Not gonna bother with that right now. Let's keep going on throughout the vault here. You have the Vault Boy pointing you the way you have to go, but feel free as you're playing through on your own time to go ahead and check out all these things. Of course, I did that on my very first character. Here's gonna be the cafeteria, though unfortunately, most of the doors in the vault are inaccessible. You can look into them and see... Wait a minute, we were just there. It doesn't matter if that door is inaccessible. We were just up there. Most of these doors are locked, though, so you can't actually go everywhere it is you may want to go. But remember to stop by here, right? You have all these different signs and everything. The line starts here. I mean, apparently everyone had to wait in line as they were leaving the vault, but because we woke up late, we missed out on all of that. But this is where they also introduce you to different aspects of the game itself, right? You can take a purified water, you can take a Rad-X, and then you keep on continuing. You can also talk to all the different Mr. Handies as well. But here's going to be the second one. You get your first 5 stim packs, as well as a Radaway. Then you continue forward here, and here is where you get your building supplies, which is going to be helpful later on. Continuing on.
Terrifying, leaving this warm, secure vault for a hostile wilderness with no running water or electricity.
I mean, I wish I could bring you with me, man, just like Codsworth. His name's Higginbottom. That's a wonderful name. I wish I could bring him with me as a companion. I'm not sure if companions are actually in this game. I do know if you build into Charisma, there's a Lone Wanderer perk, so I'm not really sure. And here's a hat. I think this is meant to...
Remember, you don't have to go it alone. Find friends, or make new ones.
That is the point of this game, that is. But here they're basically saying you can meet strangers, exchange pleasantries, share skill sets. That's the thing you can actually do. And yeah, this is meant to basically show that you can customize your character. Oh, we have another guy around here, Merriman. Where's he at? Is he outside? It showed that there was a... right there.
All go through that giant vault door alone.
Oh. Okay, we can actually go inside here. I don't believe I actually did this. This is the Overseer's office. Now, what's interesting, too, is you guys heard the Overseer talking earlier. The Overseer, I always thought from the trailers, I thought that she was going to basically be always here in the vault. We can always, like, go back and, you know, talk to the Overseer. But the Overseer has left. She's gone. And the reason why she's gone is actually pretty interesting. So this will be a minor spoiler. But obviously, you see this in the very beginning of the game if you're actually looking for it. But here is what the Vault Tech is basically looking to do. I didn't look at this. My brother told me about it. Okay, here it is. So this is the Overseer's objective. This is coming straight from Vault Tech. 25 years after the vault doors close, you are to prepare your citizens to leave Vault 76 and begin a process called reclamation. Specifics will be disseminated automatically as the time approaches. That's a fancy word. I've not seen the word disseminated in a very long time. After Reclamation Day, you are personally ordered to find and secure 3 nuclear silos codenamed Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. If these sites are still nuclear capable, ensure no one except Vault Tech can access or launch nuclear ordnance. That's pretty hefty stuff. To be clear, even if there are other authorities, whether government, militia, or otherwise, I forget how we change this. I want to press tab. Do we press enter? Their claims are to be ignored. Vault Tech alone maintains jurisdiction. That's pretty scary, right? Vault Tech saying to the Overseer here, go find nukes and kill anyone out there who may have access to them, because they belong to Vault Tech.
Overseer's log, or should I say, direct communication. Because whoever is listening to this had the moxie to try to find out where I've gone. But I'm glad you did. Truth is, I need your help. I've been given a task, and I've decided to break protocol and tell you what it is. Because if there's one thing I've learned in these past few years, it's that we need to rely on each other. There were 3 active nuclear silos in Appalachia before the bombs fell. They blew up the world before. We can't let it happen again. So we've got to locate and secure all of the silos. Or die trying. Hopefully the former. But it's been 25 years. I just don't know what we're gonna find out there. Or where to start. My directive was to go to the nearest population center and assess the situation. I'll set up a camp on the way once I get my bearings. Find me there.
All right, so I'm glad I listened to that, because I didn't listen to that my very first time playing. It almost sounds like the Overseer doesn't really want to work for Vault-Tec. She wants to make sure that what happened to the world 25 years ago never happens again. Also, I took a screenshot of this because it confused me so much. How come we are in Vault 76, which has everything brand new, is unaffected by time or the nuclear devastation, and there's a Nuka-Cola machine in here that looks like it's been sitting out in the Wasteland for 200 years? Not entirely sure why that is, but let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, after all this time, and exit the vault. I am very excited about this. Can I loot this right here? No, I cannot. Let's continue on. We were already here. See you later, Higginbottom. And now... So, oh, I guess Merryman. I kept seeing Merryman earlier. Merryman's actually just the name of the robot. But I'm glad I thought Merryman was a person, because if I did not see that, I would not have gone ahead and found the Overseer's office right there. But let's go ahead and head out this way. Here's going to be the camp machine.
Outside, survival will be easy with your construction and assembly mobile platform, or camp. So catchy.
Very. Yeah, find flat ground, drop your camp, use resources to build, then survive in style. Basically, you can build a settlement almost anywhere you want that's flat and not in a weird area. Now, out here,
Never stop learning. Be the best that you can be.
Take this pen, take these glasses, and then take these perk cards. So, the leveling system here in Fallout 76 is a little bit different than what we've seen in previous games. I believe the max level is 50, so you can't have all these points into all these things, basically become like an uber powerful character. But there's also going to be 15 ranks in each one of these stats. Now, I'm building into intelligence on my main character, so for this character, we can try something different. This one will make it so you have more raw physical power. It affects how much you can carry and the damage of melee attacks. Perception's going to be helping out with VATS, which I really don't like the VATS in this game, which we'll be talking about here in a bit. Endurance is as it always is. Charisma actually helps you out with other players, making it so you get better rewards and you give your team more experience and stuff. My brother's actually doing Charisma. I'm doing Intelligence. Agility is going to help out your, looks like, action points and VATS, and your ability to sneak, which is actually pretty important, I would imagine. And then you have Luck, which is going to help out your critical hits, as well as the condition and durability of the items that you loot. Let's go ahead and have this character basically build into Strength. Your one-handed melee weapons do 10% more damage. Okay. So that is going to be level 1 of this card that you get, and then you equip the card itself, and you have all these different cards you can have, and you can change them around as you go. It is kind of an odd system. I'm not entirely sure how the entire thing works as of right now. Again, I just started playing today. But yeah, we'll be messing around with that later on, I imagine. But here, ladies and gentlemen, oh, here we go.
Goodbye. Aloha. Ciao. Arrivederci. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Vaya con Dios. Buen viaje.
See you later, Alderton. It's been real. Reclamation Day. And here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wasteland. It is much more colorful than in the other Fallout games, but the reason for that is apparently West Virginia was not actually affected as much by the nuclear devastation, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. Now, let's see if... I would like to see if my keybinds... Nope, it does not look like my keybinds have... Oh, man, this is something they really need to fix. So, we'll ignore that for right now. I want to show you guys the guns and things like that. So, go over to this Responder Corpse, who has a little bit of ammo, a pipe pistol, and some pre-war money. Now, I'm not exactly sure who the responders were, but, yeah, let's go. Okay, if I can move this, that would be fantastic. It's definitely just right there in the way of everything I am trying to do right now. I'll go ahead and equip this pipe pistol, because right outside the vault are going to be Liberator bots. These are Chinese propaganda bots. I have no idea why they're here. They may be here for, like, as training for us, but who would have brought the propaganda bots here? I really don't understand that all that much. But I also don't understand why we already have a pipe pistol, because to my understanding, pipe weapons in Fallout 4 were there because, you know, they were put together by these survivors, people that have been surviving in the Commonwealth for over, 200 years. But they're already here 25 years after the bombs fell, which I think is actually kind of odd. Now, we can read the propaganda poster, Rebuilding the Future for a Broken Nation, right? You got the communism star there over the broken American flag. You can actually take these. I'm not sure if there's any point in having them, but you can also take the steel scrap, which is actually pretty important. And there's another player right here next to me, but I don't think we can actually fight or anything, and I don't really want to start shooting him or anything like that. But this area, I believe, is actually meant to almost serve as a tutorial level, which makes sense. If you think back to Fallout 4, I'm going to keep referencing that game a lot here in this video. Oh, these were all already killed, I think, by this guy. Well, thank you. But, yeah, as you're going through Sanctuary with Codsworth and, you're killing the bloatflies and stuff like that, that's kind of a tutorial mission that's built organically within the game, and we kind of have that here as well in Fallout 76. So unfortunately, all these bots that I was going to kill was already killed by this guy. Oh, T-Diddy94, which, by the way, you can have any name you want on Bethesda Net, which I'm not entirely sure that is a good idea. I wish they would have just put this game on Steam. But you can have basically any name you want, and he chose T-Diddy94. Definitely pretty interesting. But one of the things I really don't like so far about this game would be the user interface and how everything works, which you could say, well, that's because it's a beta, but also remember that the game comes out in 2 weeks' time, so it's like, well, how much of a beta really is this? What I mean by that is, so you know how when you want to, scroll out and look at your character in third person? Well, you can't do that, right? If you try doing that, it opens up your hot wheel. But at the same time, your hot wheel can also be opened up by pressing the F key. So what's the point in having both of these as separate options? It makes no sense. Also, if you want to just go ahead and simply, open up different options and just go to the menu, you have to press escape, which opens up the map. And then from there, you have to press Z to actually open up the menu, which is really freaking confusing. And then once you're actually in here and you actually want to go ahead and change up your controls, apparently your controls do not go ahead and carry over from character to character. The biggest thing I want to change would be that right there, toggling the POV, because once you do that, you can go ahead and, actually see your character in third person by pressing that button. But because the scroll wheel is pretty much bound, and I don't believe you're actually allowed to change it, you can't zoom out any further than this, which is kind of odd. It may be due to the fact that they don't want you zooming out too far because it might give you an advantage over other players. I'm not really sure why that is, but yeah, going back to the controls, which again is like 3 clicks, which is really frustrating. You can't actually change that. If I want to change my toggle POV to be the scroll wheel, watch what happens. That button is reserved. Why is it reserved? We don't need 2 buttons for the scroll wheel. Doesn't make any sense, guys. It really makes no sense whatsoever, but regardless...
Said she'd set up her camp down the road to the south.
Say thanks, Pennington. Although, honestly, I'm not too concerned about getting over there to the Overseer's camp. I just want to explore this world and see the things that there is to see. Now, here is going to be a machete, as well as some pre-war money, as well as orders from Maria Chavez. Let's go ahead and read that. Now, because this game does not have any living human NPCs, which has been confirmed by Bethesda, the only people you see out in the world are going to be other players. This is how a lot of the storytelling is going to take place, which is okay. Voice chat is set to none. By default, voice chat is set on, so anything you say can be heard by other people in the lobby. So I was wondering if this person next to me can actually hear me, which should actually be kind of funny. Let's go ahead and read this. This is how basically all the storytelling is going to be told in this game, which is kind of how Fallout has always been. I mean, obviously there's actual people in other Fallout games, but a lot of the storytelling is told from environmental storytelling and way things were set up, as well as notes and terminal logs, and as well as holotapes, of course. But this is from Maria Chavez. Paul, I need you to make the monthly scouting run to Vault 76. Those doors have to open sometime. Don't take risks. Observe for a few days and come back. We'll go ahead and take that. So that's interesting. These responders... I'm not sure if these responders were here before the bombs fell or after, because if they were here after the bombs fell, that means that there were people that survived the initial blast and the initial radiation. And as a result of that, there could, in theory, actually be NPCs out in the world. But Bethesda keeps saying that there aren't, which is really odd.
It's all over, but the cry